Hi, Nicole Mostigal here. I'm a LuLaRoe fashion consultant, and I'm going to go over how to shop all my latest inventory on my Facebook group. So there's been a little bit of confusion because it's slightly different than the normal just click and buy. So first you're going to want to head over to the Facebook group. I have my handy tablet here. I want to head over to my Facebook group, and I actually post my inventory once a week on Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I will post any of my latest inventory, any specials that I have going on. It's all going to be posted on Monday, and the sales usually last about 24 to 48 hours. I always disclose how long it's going to be up. You can always ask a question. If I don't get back to you right away, there are a lot of my regular customers will know the answer. So don't be afraid to ask questions. So first, once you get to my Facebook group, you're going to want to go to the info. Now this is an Android base, so it might be a little bit different. It might just be 3 little dots, or it might just be like a little arrow. Let me go back. So it's basically going to be somewhere over here in the right hand corner. Sometimes I've seen 3 little dots. On an iOS, I think it was an iPhone recently, I saw like an arrow. So just click on that. It takes you to the group information. And if you go here, you'll see photos, and there's going to be a view all, and there's my most recent. And then if you click to albums, it goes to all the albums. So I will post all the inventory to albums, and then here you can see all the different albums, and when you click that, when I have items listed, it'll be all in here. So that's how you can find the albums. And that makes it easier. When I post it to the wall, what happens is things kind of get lost in the shuffle of different comments, and you won't be able to find exactly, maybe you're looking for that perfect classic tee and it gets lost in the shuffle on the wall. So it's a lot easier actually in the albums, and then you can kind of look and see what it is exactly that you're looking for. And then in each album I also include the size chart, the sizing chart that's specific to that item. That's the latest thing that LuLaRoe has provided, which is really helpful. Since some things are a little true to size, some things run a little bit big, and so on. So the other important information about how to shop for LuLaRoe on my Facebook group is how to claim an item. And to claim an item, all you have to do is type sold. It's very important that you use the word sold. You can say, I want it, sold. But it has to have that word, because I actually use a system that scans through all of my albums and looks for the keyword sold. And if you don't use that word, there's a chance that I will miss it. So make sure you type out the words, and you can ask questions. So if you have a question maybe about the fabric, you want a closer up picture, but you don't want someone else to snag it before you, type sold pending and then ask your question. That's the best way to do it. And then should you decide not to get it after I've answered your question, you can delete your original comment with the sold pending and just say no thank you, pass, or whichever. The key is to be the first person to type the word sold. Sometimes I will have the same item in multiple quantities, not usually. I will type if I have more than one available. I will put it in the description, or I'll put it in the comments. So be on the lookout for that. And once you're done shopping, what you're going to do is you're going to go over to the pinned post, which is on the home screen of my group. And it says here pinned post, and you just click on that. And then this is a link to my Google Doc, my Google form. And you just go in there and you put in your name. And I'm going to be starting something new. So for my regular seasoned customers, you're going to need to fill this out every week, because the form is going to require you to acknowledge some of the care instructions, and then also the return/exchange policy. So I'll need, and plus it just, sometimes your addresses and email addresses get lost in the shuffle of previous forms. So it's much easier to have one new form each week. So you want to click on that link and fill out, it's just real basic information, your email address, your mailing address, and just a couple basic questions. But mostly it's just so I can get the invoicing over to you, and then once I have that information, I will send you an invoice. Sometimes it's a couple hours after you've claimed an item. It just depends on what time. I mean, you might be doing it at midnight. I might already be in bed. So hold on, hang tight, don't worry. I'll get you your invoice, and then you have about 24 hours usually to pay that invoice. If you don't pay it within the window that I specify at the beginning of the sale, then that means it'll go to the next person that wants that item, or it just goes back into the mix for the next sale. So make sure you do the Google form so I can send you the invoice, and then once the invoice is sent to your email, make sure you do pay that. If you have any questions at any point during the sale, after the sale, between sales, if you have a question about your invoice or something's just not working for you, please don't hesitate to ask me. I am here to help. Ask questions about colors. You know, I have a background in interior design, so color is kind of my thing. So I have no problem describing, and also with fabrics too. If you have a question about the fabric texture, the stretch, because that's really important too for sizing. You know, there's the overall basic concept with the size chart, but it's also really important to know the stretch. Sometimes that can have an effect on the fit. So don't hesitate to ask. And you can always reach me on my Facebook group page, which is LuLaRoe Nicole Mosticle. You can actually, the URL is Nicole, it's LuLaRoe Nicole VIP. So you can find me that way. You can also, I'll leave the links in the description of this video, so don't hesitate. And hope to see you shopping soon. New inventory every week, Monday at 5 p.m. Standard Time. Thanks.